Well, this week we've got a special guest here all the way from Quebec City. Okay, we've got Samy Khlafa. How you doing, Sammy?
Great. Thanks for having me, Jamie. Always doing great, my friend.
Great. Well, I'm excited to have you on this call. I mean, you said some very nice things in Montreal as you got on stage and you gave that great speech of how I think you referred to John Black as like your maps
Google,
application, right? You had
correct.
all these different applications. I'm like, oh, this is really smart. And then you're like, and then Jamie, the YouTube, you're the YouTube guy. So it's great that we get to host you today on YouTube considering you watch all these and obviously you're using them for your development, but I think you have a lot to offer, everybody that's watching this, obviously within your organization and, all the different orgs that are watching these. Let's just start off with just your background before you came into the business. And then I find it very intriguing how you started and how those conversations with Leopold went down. So just walk us through all the pre business times and then how you started in the company.
Sure. So when I came to Canada in 2026, I was a student at University of Montreal. And during summertime, instead of going back to visit my parents and my country, I prefer just to work, like student jobs. What's This is something I didn't know when I was raised in Morocco. So I was more focused on, okay, let's do student jobs, and one of them was restaurant. So I became the manager of an Italian restaurant in downtown, maybe 2 minute, 3 minute walks from Leopold's office, actually. And one of the guy who was working with on that restaurant was working for Leopold. And I knew Leopold before starting the business because every Friday afternoon, he used to go to the bank and cross the street and, just come from the restaurant and sometimes stop by and have something for lunch. And I remember I was serving Leopold myself on those Fridays. And then they will say the circumstances made that this waiter start working for Leopold. And he was like, yeah, I'm working in this place. And I talked to Leopold and I was intrigued. Look at how is this business working? And when you work at a restaurant business, it's very long hours. I was working between 80 to 100 hours a week. So when I started the business, actually, I was like, oh, this is not as hard as the restaurant business. And I discovered that it needs different skills, like leadership skills, for example. So, and then I started the business. I didn't start to build a team right away. I would say I was more discovering the thing of sales and commission and door to door for many months. And when I saw someone getting promoted, I was curious. I was like, oh, this is for real. Like, okay, he gets a check of $10,000. He opened his own business, and I was very curious how he did it. And I right away switched, I would say, my focus on more development than just sales. So when I need to develop and learn to have, to become an ICL, so start teaching that I was not the most disciplined guy. I was having a hard time to have one single person in my team. Like before having a leader, I think I trained more than 30 people, Jamie.
Mm.
And it was something. And NatCon in 2012 was great for me because I said that on my speech. This breakout allowed me actually to change a few things that I was doing wrong and start building a team. And 3 months after that, I was an assistant manager. So, and after that, I get promoted in 2014. Promoted deal in 2015, moved to Quebec City in 2016, promoted another two outside deals in 2017, back in Montreal in 2019, then COVID hit for 2 years. I had Abdul, my guy, who was with John Black having few reps in 2022, and I started the Amazon KFB on 2022 as well with two reps. And 3 years after, now we have six offices on Amazon Business, and Abdul is doing HelloFresh and ready to promote as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're certainly, you're bringing us up to speed on the timeline. Like, okay, listen, you're a player in the business. You've got six offices. You're doing, you know, I think 5 first generation offices, 1 second gen, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, sooner than later, you're going to be knocking on the door for a promotion to OC, which is very exciting. But I want to kind of keep it backed up a little bit. So before the business, you were in the hospitality industry, really in the restaurant space. You,
Correct.
you weren't in the restaurant business in Paris or Morocco,
Nope.
just in Canada.
Correct.
Okay. And interesting. So when you say, yeah, I was working 80 to 100 hours a week. So then when I came into this business, like, well, geez, what are you guys, part-time? Like this stuff is pretty easy. Adrian
Yeah.
Petticord said the same thing. Like she was doing medical sales before she joined the business. So it's not often that I hear people use the words, well, this business was so much easier than what I was doing. Most people, this business is going to be harder than what they were doing before. But for people like you and Adrian, it's like, well, the hours are less and it's
Yeah.
easier. Maybe walking around in minus 30 isn't so easy though, Sammy. What do you think about that coming from Morocco?
Ah, this this was something. The most, I would say, challenging part for me in the restaurant business, the big difference I would say is the stress. Restaurant business is very long hours with nobody in the restaurant, and then 3 hours with the rush time that, and every day something's gonna happen.
Hmm.
Every day you can build systems, you can build anything, but every day you need to be ready. If a heater breaks, if a customer isn't happy, if something happened, you need to be ready to be able to, I would say, deliver a high experience over that stress,
Hmm.
which is different than the business because in this business we create our own stress.
Right.
We create our own stress because we do have some hours with no decision makers, no presentation, but if I'm focused on the right thing, I don't create stress.
Right.
So it was the big difference, and also I think the restaurant business teach you how to treat employees a lot. Like you need to be like there's no smile, enthusiasm, and eye contact with people. Like in a rush time, you need to be like pick up number 12. There is no please
Right.
Jamie, can you pick up number 12 and
Right.
take your time and what's happening there? No, it's no, it's rush time. So it's the big difference. And
Yeah.
I needed some time to adapt, but it was great when you have great mentors like Leopold or John Black.
Yeah. Yeah. I just always look at you like, what like you're a restaurateur. And maybe it's because I don't know how many years ago it was, but I remember at some event, I think somewhere in Texas, there was a game being watched or something, and I was invited to your room. And I remember coming up to your room, and you're like, "Oh, Jamie," and you and Layla were just great hosts. You insisted that I sit in your seat, which was almost like the king's throne, if you will. You had the nice, comfortable chair. Like, no, no, Jamie, you sit here, and then you chose to sit in a much less comfortable seat. You always wanted to make sure I was hydrated. You want something to drink. You want something to eat. Like just the kindest guy. And I remember talking to John. I'm like, tell me more about Sam. And then it kept connecting the dots with a restaurant and restaurant background. I'm like, well, that's got to be it. Like he knows how to serve. Like I just picture you running a 5-star kind of restaurant where you just know how to cater to people. Would you say is that an accurate way of kind of describing you because of the restaurant, or would you say, no, Jamie, I've kind of always been like that because of my upbringing. I'm like that because of the country I grew up with and up in Morocco. Like, where would you say you got that from?
I think I got that from my father and my mother. The education I saw they give us was always about giving to people. Like I give you an example. In Morocco, we have people working for us in our place. And I remember like every Sunday when those people they work for us, like we actually serve them. We serve them, we help them, you make sure we eat with them, we do a lot of stuff with them. And I think like when you describe, for example, my father, when you ask someone in Morocco about my father, they don't see him as a doctor at first, they see him as a generous guy. So I think this came from that, and I transferred that in the restaurant business. and I have to give good service. And the good thing with restaurant business, if you good service, you get good tips as well, right? So it's a
Yeah.
win-win situation. But I was not doing that driven by money. I was doing that, I think, driven by the fact that okay, this I need to do my job very well. And the good thing is to do it very well. I need to treat people well. And something that attracted me about this business is a business of people helping people. So this is what driving me every morning.
Mm.
Just helping people changing their life, which is better for me than the experience that I had. Like when you promote a deal and you change his life, this is crazy. Like sometimes you have people, they're here. I have many examples of people here in Canada for 2 years and they own their own offices. They already are business, either women or men, and they change their life. And this can affect positively their families and also their development. And this is a good, I would say, drive for me. And this come, I would say, more from that background with that education from my mom and my father.
Mm. Yeah, well, you certainly are. When I think of like gentlemen in our business, I put you at the top. Like you are just a very cordial, kind, gentlemanly guy. When people come over to my room at an event, I generally speaking don't give them the throne. If I'm sitting there in the perfect spot watching a TV, sports game or something. Again, I can't remember what we were doing. Might have been a hockey
Final.
game.
It was a final between
Yeah,
Edmonton and
Florida.
US. Yeah, exact.
The Panthers, yeah. Yeah, I remember I was in Canada. I'm like, how come
Yeah,
Canadians aren't
you
all
were in
going nuts
Toronto.
for hockey? I was like the only guy going nuts for hockey. I'm like, what, like where? And then I heard, okay, you've got the game on. I'm going to Sammy's room. Let's go watch that game. And okay, that's where it was. It was in Toronto then, right?
Correct.
It was in Toronto. Got it. All right. Well, again, I remember that. He's just such a kind, cordial man. I appreciate that. You definitely left that impression on me. And Gary, it's funny. I had lunch with Gary yesterday, and he was telling me about, obviously he went to Quebec and he spent some time in Quebec before the conference, and he just loved. I mean, I'm sure he's told you, I'm sure you know this. He just loved hanging out with you and your wife and just being in Quebec City, such a beautiful place. But, he has the same sentiment, he just loves you guys. Again, you're just very generous, kind people, and he really appreciates that.
We love him as well. And sometimes I think you need to show gratitude as well. And treating people well is to show them gratitude as well.
Hmm.
You give us a lot of content, Jamie, on YouTube for free, by the way. So we don't pay for it. And
Right.
this content help us sometimes develop people here, develop ourselves, answer to questions we have, remind us something. So I think why not treating people well? Why should we do differently?
Yeah. Yeah, you just go above and beyond, though. Again, treat people well. Invite me to your room is one thing. Offer me, a drink or something to eat. But no, no, I insist you having my chair. Like you just kind of go the extra mile, Sammy. And again, you get that from your family, which is awesome. I mean, it intrigues me, makes me want to meet your family. You said that in Morocco, with again, you fill in the details here, like different chapters or associations for like diabetes awareness. Like you guys did a lot of philanthropy, your family, with like 116 chapters. Tell me a little bit about that.
So my father is a doctor specialized in diabetes and all the endocrinology diseases. And he runs. He's the president of an association, the Moroccan Association. And I remember when we started that, when he started that, sorry, it was already existing, but there were like four association or five in Morocco. So he was the president, and in like 2 years, it became 116 in different cities. And every month they help thousands and thousands and thousands of people for free because in Morocco, diabetes is a high disease because of actually the food we have. Like we like bread, we like a lot of things with sugar, especially on our celebrations. And yeah, it kind of give back to society some education about that because a lot of people they don't even know they have diabetes and they do a lot of mistakes. So his role is to help those people educate about that disease and help them also know that, okay, perfect. During that period of time, I should maybe eat less bread or eat less things. And yeah, and he does also some TV shows about that, just to help people actually being healthier about that. Because if you're not careful, it can impact a lot of part of your body.
Mm. That's really motivated you to give back to your community in Quebec.
Yeah, of course. I think it's the legacy of what you learn, right?
Mm.
Legacy it's not always material. It's what you have been learning and what you saw as an example. And reading your book, I saw also you have the almost the same with your father, going over those challenges and became what he became. Running almost like developing a $7 billion business here in Canada. So that
Hmm.
I think this is the legacy, and this changes you as a man or a woman, for example.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, that describes a lot of you, Sammy. So, and you have a history with basketball in Morocco. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that's actually a funny story. I was doing sports in my school, and I broke my arm. And during my re-education, when you get after 1 month to get back, you need to eradicate your arm to get back the strength you had. So my father decided to subscribe me to the I would say the local city basketball team. At that time, it was a junior, it's a minimum one, which is I was, I think, 13 or 14 years old. And I start playing basketball all every year since that until 20 years old. And we ran some few championship on those years. I think we won with the team, not myself. I was second middles and one fifth one for the Moroccan championship. It was great. Give me that I would say education and discipline. Uh, like when you want something, it's not about what you want. Um, I remember something I learned very quickly with basketball. You're not late hitting your goals. It's just it's not on your schedule yet. So let's say, for example, you want to really win or you want to play well. So your belief your beliefs will make you ready to play well. And as soon as those beliefs they're not here, you don't have that behavior to have that discipline. And this is what I learned with basketball.
Mm.
And basketball teach me as well how to play with the team. In basketball, you have like five kind of posts. And because of my height, I play number three first, and number four, three, and then number two and one. But this allowed me to learn how to adapt a lot and to play with the team at the different, I will say, spots, because your role is really different anytime. And you need to be at your best, because if you're not at the best, you're actually affecting your team. So being a great teammate is very important as well. Uh, and I learned that to grow, you need to go over pain and safety. You cannot grow without being on that. I call it the pain zone because let's say, for example, you want to learn how to dance. It's a simple skill, right? It's not. I say simple, but it's not. People sometimes they confuse easy and simple. But as soon as you're willing to believe that you can dunk and you're doing the job and the hard work for it, and you have that behavior, it's going to be painful because those doing those exercise to jump better are painful and then safe. Sometimes you can hurt yourself, but if you don't go over that, it's going to be hard for you to grow.
Hmm.
So this is a kind of what I learned from basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell my children a lot, pain is a great motivator. Like
Correct.
don't shy away from pain, like embrace pain and use it. It's fuel. Kobe, I know you've got Kobe Bryant over your shoulder, correct? I mean, you're a big Kobe
Just
guy.
right there. Black
And Kobe,
Mamba. I read his two books. Like he had four books, but I had two of them. The
yeah,
4 a.m. mindset was a great one.
yeah. I mean, Kobe, I'm sure you've heard the story too of how when he broke his nose in the All-Star game, I think it was Dwayne Wade bust his nose. And instead of going to the hospital, because I think it was in the first quarter, it was the first 5 minutes of the game. No, he wanted to stay because he had a few choice words for Dwayne Wade. So he stayed the whole game to finally talk with him before he got medical attention. And then he wore the mask. He was the masked Mamba and averaged 50 points for I don't know how many nights, but Kobe just had a different gear, but he was a guy that knew how to take pain and turn it into something extraordinary. No doubt about it. And so you're a big Lakers guy. Who's your player? Is it Luca?
Right now,
Yeah,
yeah, right now it's Luca.
yeah, Luca's your guy.
Yeah. I'll say what LeBron is bringing to the team as a mindset, and he wants to do his 23rd year on the NBA, which it's a great example. But this year, I think Luca is going to be a good asset for the team.
Yeah,
Uh, Lakers, we have a very young team, and they need just more synergy right now.
yeah, yeah. By default, though, don't you have to be a Toronto Raptors fan? Isn't it part of the law up there?
Yes, I would say this is going to be my second team, but from Morocco, I'm a Laker fan 1000%. So
Okay, okay.
a
You know, I
big
almost I
Laker.
almost wore my Dodgers jersey because the Dodgers are going to start playing ball here right away. You watching baseball? I mean, everybody in Canada must be going nuts for the Jays right now.
Yeah, Canada, they are more with the Jays, and yeah, most of the, I would say everybody like that I know, they're riding for the Jays.
Yeah,
I think Canada is more a hockey. I would say hockey, and right now it begin to be more and more soccer as well. But baseball are not that very popular. It's more hockey, right? Like everybody is about the Canadians right now.
oh, the Montreal Canadiens.
Correct, sir.
Okay, yeah. You know, years ago, many moons ago, I went to a Canadians game because I lived in Montreal for a very small window, and I went to it was Canadians versus the Flyers, and it ended in a 2-2 tie, and the fans were booing their team, and I'm like, what's going
What's
on? They're like,
wrong?
Jamie, when you win 25 Stanley Cups, you
Yeah.
expect to win all the time. So anything less than a win is a total disappointment. I'm like, man, you got some really spoiled fans here in Montreal that you're booing the team for ending in a tie. I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
When I came, it was funny because first of all, I didn't know that Canadian of Montreal was the name of the team.
Eh,
Like people were like Canadian of Montreal. I was like, why did they call them like that? Like it's crazy. And then I saw right away how people, like you just said, have that high expectation because they have the break record of Stanley Cups. So
yep,
they're always expecting to have a Stanley Cups.
yep,
When there's that disappointment at the playoff, right away you can feel that very immediately.
yeah, yeah. It was neat too at the conference. The I call them the Habs. I don't even call them the Canadians. Les Habitants. Their head office, I think, was right beside the hotel, wasn't it? I saw a big
Yep.
Canadians logo on a
Exactly. Just
skyscraper.
right nearby the hotel we were this year.
Yeah, yeah, that was neat. So you're a big fan of Canada. You like it there. You're used to the snow now.
Yeah, I think snow, cold, hot, all those things are, I will say, just external things that we don't need to calculate. Like I don't control the weather.
Yeah,
Why should I focus on the snow? Like I decide to come to Canada. Like I know that Canada is not Miami or is not Hawaii, right? So I don't think that being surprised to cold is not, I would say, the main question. The main question is, okay, perfect. What I need to wear when it's minus 30 or minus 40, because I'm not used to wear those things. But I,
yeah,
I don't control the weather. So, I don't know if you know there's an experience about the cognitive dissonance. People that they smoke, when they smoke, they know that smoking is not good. I'm not smoking, but they know everybody who smokes can tell you that smoking is not good. And they can tell you why and explain to you, what are the problems that smoking can bring. but they continue smoking, right? And everybody that I know, I don't know for you, but when someone quits smoking and I ask him, how did you quit? He's going to tell you from day one to day two. I decide to quit and I quit. I never knew someone who's going to tell me, like, it took me 2 years to quit or 3 years to quit. You're going to be like, I decide one day I wake up or I was at the hospital and I decide right away. They call that cognitive dissonance, which we know what is good for us and what's not good for us. It's just, do we decide to make what it takes and to do what needs to be done to be to I would say to move forward. So when I started the business and I was minus 30 or minus 40, I was not wearing proper shoes or wearing proper jackets and I felt cold. But I didn't say that this is because of this business. Like people, they work outside. Like nobody stays home during minus 20 or 30, right? You still see people outside. You see people driving, go to the mall, go to the supermarket, doing their thing, working. It's just about, okay, I don't control that. So why should I be upset about it and not just adapt myself to that situation and know what I need to wear? That's it. And when you wear the proper thing, you don't feel the cold, actually.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
I
people,
find that I ask that question a lot to all you warm weather
correct.
migrants because I'm kind of like, "Oh, that's a stretch of a comfort zone." Like, I grew up in the cold climate or the, multi-weather climate, I guess would be the best way to put it, because summers were, beautiful and long summer days. And sometimes living in California, I'm like, oh, it's so boring. Like, we only have two seasons. We have like cool summer days and we have warm summer days, and that's all we have. So it's nice getting a change of seasons, but I can imagine if you grew up in Morocco and now you're experiencing, cold weather, but I totally agree with where you're coming from. Like you can't control it. People deal with this. I remember telling Gareth too, he's a Florida kid. We moved to Minnesota and I gave him a pair of gloves. I'm like, hey, you're gonna love these gloves because if your fingertips get cold, then you really feel the cold. But if your hands are warm, well, everything else, you can, and your toes, you want to keep your toes warm, your fingers warm. Those are kind of tricky to tolerate. They're very sensitive, but you just find a way to adapt. I mean, you have to be adaptable to your territory and your climate. So
Yeah.
you've done well with that.
I think you can control just what you can control. You can be frustrated because of bad weather or good weather. Like this is a way to just be reactive to a situation that you can't control. And I don't think that people that they want to be successful in their life, and success is relative to a lot of people. But if I want to hit my goals and be successful, I need to make sure I'm focused on what I control. So weather, I don't control weather. I give you another example. I heard that in LA there's a bad traffic, correct?
Oh, there's bad traffic. Yes, I just went through it today.
All right. I think Gary was talking to me about that. He was like, sometimes you can do 5 miles in more than an hour or
Yeah,
2 hours sometimes. You can't control the traffic. So why being upset about the traffic? This is not something like everybody would love to have no traffic, but why should I be upset? I'm in a big city. So when there's traffic, there is traffic, and that's it. I don't control that, but I control the time that I can go before. Like I know there's traffic, so I'm not gonna just go on time. I'm gonna make sure that I go in time. Like I'm gonna take my time. Uh, you frustrated because your choice. We are frustrated, sorry, because the choice sometimes we make. Again, back to that cognitive dissonance. We know that they're not good, and we're expecting that they give us a certain result with a situation that we can't control. And after that, when we don't have that result we want, we are just frustrated. Like when you come late because of traffic, you don't come late because of traffic. You come late because you choose actually not to take actions because of a situation you can't control. It's
yeah,
like cold. Like if you decide, like you said, not to wear gloves, and then after that, you can even touch your iPad or disposition the door because it's cold. It's not because it's cold, because you decide not to wear gloves.
yeah, yeah. So in LA, you can't control the traffic, but you can control the horn on your car.
Of
Okay.
course you can.
Okay, so I'm learning that it's apparently against the law to use it for anything other than to avoid an accident. Because in LA, people use the horn for a different reason.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like, get moving, wake up, quit looking at your phone, get out of the way. That's the purpose of a horn in Los Angeles. So we've got a question here from Alice. Alice, I'm going to let you ask the question, and we're pretty much at time. So this will be our last question here for you, Sammy.
Thank you.
Hey, Sammy. So you mentioned in the conference, what you learned changed how you train from like can promote leader to become system manager in 2 months. So what are the two things you changed?
So what I learned during that NatCom, the first one is we want to build relationship with people, but not partnership. So I learned that first we need to actually to build partnership with people. Like if you start in my team, what you expect from me and what I expect from you as a business partner, because you're not working for me. We represent one of the biggest brands in the world, and this is what you're expecting from us. And I'm here. What are you expecting from me? To show you the example and to lead you to how to make money in the field, how to have a great attitude all the time, how to work a full day, how to work correct your territory, how to go over the 5 steps, how to use the 4 impulses. So this is the partnership, I will say, thing that I was not doing really well. Like I was good at building relationship with people. Like people, they will work with me and they love me for a day or two, but they won't quit after that because I didn't build that partnership. So I think this was the first thing I changed, and the second thing I changed is my mindset. I remember I was always looking, okay, perfect. Like, okay, what are the standards? What I need to do? So I was looking at the standards are okay, the maximum that I need to do. And that mindset change was like, oh no, they're not the maximum. They're actually the minimum. So there's no limits. And I remember I asked a lot of people on during that night, come like, an assistant manager who has like 10 people on his team, is it good? 15 people on his team. And I heard that a lot of people like in US specifically had like 20 or 24 people, 25. I heard that the guy, assistant manager, had 32 people. I remember when I heard that, I was like, oh my God. I want to connect with this guy. I want to see how he does it. And I was able to get promoted to assistant manager after like less than 3 months. And I think after 4 or 5 months, I had 24 people on my team, 24 leaders, not even just entry levels. So I think that mindset shift also was really cool because of those breakouts. And one of them was with Jamie. And it was the one with Jamie was the one with the mindset and the relationship that we need to do, the expectations, like how you define what I need to do with you. For example, you start on my team this week or next week. And when everything is clearly set, after that, everything is scheduled well. And the result are just a consequence of what you're going to see from me, not what I'm expecting from you. And it creates a good communication between a new start who's going to start in your team today, and he's gonna not be scared to ask questions. Like I love people who's gonna tell me, "Oh, hey Sammy, I didn't like my day today." I want those people to come to me because I have the information to help them and support them to change that outcome that they didn't like today. I prefer that than to go see someone else who cannot give them that support. So that changed a lot during that NatCom, and I was just trying to duplicate and create a system around that. How can, okay, perfect, any new start that start on my team, on anybody on my team, on my leaders team, Abdul was like it took me almost, I think, 11 to 12 months to become a team leader, but because I understand that, I was able to teach that to one of my guys who was Abdul, my first leader, and he was, I think, team leader after just 2 3 months when he started the business. Because okay, perfect, I just duplicate those great things.
Well, that's
Thank
great,
you.
Sammy. I appreciate you taking the time today. I appreciate you being on our, now you're part of the YouTube family here of archived video, Sammy. So I hope that you're your people enjoy the video, I certainly I'll let you know the comments that I get. Usually I get texts and emails on the side. I wish people would actually comment on the video themselves, but I think maybe some people are a little shy that way. But if it's Dodgers and Jays, would you come down to LA if it's Dodgers and Jays and Gary's like, listen, we got a ticket for you. You got to come down.
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. If it's Dodgers and Jays, I want to just return the hospitality that you gave me. I want to somehow have some kind of king's throne and say, no, 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 Sammy, this is for you. And I'm just going to sit at your feet and I'm going to, watch the game or whatever it may be. But I want to return the favor. You were such a kind gentleman and just left that impression on me. You're a good example for your son. You're a good example in our business. I mean, I got a lot of respect for you. I think Layla's a great woman as well too. I mean, behind every great man's a great woman. I know you think very highly of her. She's a rock star. So again, I just love your family. Keep it up, Sammy.
Thank you so much, Jamie, for having me. And thank you for what you all do for us and our community here. Thank you.
My pleasure. We'll talk soon.
Talk soon.
Go Jays, go Dodgers. See you guys.